Good evening, folks. This is Jeremy here at Extreme Weather Tracker, updating your tropical weather at 6:05 p.m. on July the 28th, 2011. As you can see on the satellite imagery here, we still have Tropical Storm Don, which, against all odds, is actually strengthened over the last few hours. Is looking a little better on satellite imagery. You can see the rotation here, and you can see Don moving slowly off to the west-northwest at about 15 miles per hour. And on the last few frames of the satellite imagery, if you look real closely, right at the end of my pointer here, you can see some really good blow-up of convection here. These are very, very tall, cold top thunderstorms, which is indicative that Don is definitely strengthening somewhat. Talked about earlier, a strengthening storm and the track. I want to go ahead and discuss that today, as well as another feature that we may be looking at down the road. So this is the visible satellite of Don, and as you can see, it's definitely getting a little better organized. Center of circulation somewhere underneath the this last blow up of convection in this area here. So we'll switch over to some different views. Let's see here. Let's go to the these are the model tracks for Don, and as you can see, they have shifted southward, and they've definitely tightened up over the last few hours. You can see the center of the track now is pointing Don in the direction of Corpus Christi, or somewhere in that area there, somewhere south of between Port Lavaca and north of Brownsville. So we'll have to see the exact track, but the models do look like they're in more of an agreement here. You can see the center of Don somewhere out here, and they stay in fairly good agreement out to about 24 hours. And then after that, there's a little bit of a spread, and I believe it will depend on if Don's a little bit stronger, then we can probably expect a more southerly track. If he's if he's a little bit weaker, we can expect a more northerly track, as I've been saying for the past few days. But it does look like at this time it puts southeast Texas in the clear. I believe the only thing we'll see out of this is an increased chance of rainfall tomorrow, which will be Friday, and maybe a breezy afternoon. But other than that, I believe we're going to be in the clear. This is the National Hurricane Center's track for Don, and as you can see, Don was here at 4 p.m. on Thursday and moving off to the west-northwest and making landfall somewhere around the Corpus area. Then the cone of probabilities goes all the way from Port Lavaca, as I was saying, to just north of Brownsville. The cone is tightening up, so we'll see what ends up happening with Don. But I expect some additional strengthening that is possible, but I don't believe Don will ever make a Category 1 hurricane before landfall. It's possible, but not probable at this point. I believe we'll see Don land as a strong tropical storm, probably 60 mile per hour, 65 mile per hour tropical storm. But Don has been battling some problems out here with some dry air and some shear from the north. So I think Don is while it is strengthening, I believe that it will continue to strengthen a bit further, but before making landfall sometime tomorrow night. Now this is the wide view of the Atlantic, and this is an enhanced infrared satellite view, and I wanted to show you. As you can see, here's Don here, but you'll notice off to its north this big area of convection here, and I believe that's what's going to enhance our rain chances, as this Don is slinging this to the north and to the west. And so I think this area of convection, this area of thunderstorms, will start moving into our area sometime tomorrow, and we'll definitely get a shot of enhanced rain out of this. Probably some tropical downpours. Could get as much as 1 to 2 inches of rain out of this in southeast Texas. But as far as the main impacts of Don, I believe they're going to be confined to this space down here in the southern and central portions of Texas. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I end today's blog is this tropical wave located here just in the, it's actually in the western Atlantic now. It's approaching the Caribbean. The Caribbean is in this area here. The Lesser Antilles Islands are here. And as you can see, this wave has a lot of convection associated with it. And some of the models, actually most of the models, are hinting at development once it gets into this area of the world here. So I expect the National Hurricane Center to start recognizing this over the next few days. It's definitely that time of year when we'll have to see what happens. I don't expect another named storm before August. We've already had 4 before August, so we've already got a jump on the season here. But I do expect after about the 1st or 2nd of August something to be going on in this area of the world. Let me show you a model. Um, that's not what I want. Apologize. Alright, here we go. This is the Canadian model, and this is for the 3rd of August. As you can see, what I was talking about, this would be that wave that's located in here right now, and continue to move on to the west-northwest, and located somewhere just to the west of the Lesser Antilles Islands, as a pretty strong, probably tropical storm. So we'll have to definitely keep an eye on this. This could be another repeat of Don as it trucks on into the Gulf of Mexico. There is some speculation that this Bermuda high that's located over the Atlantic will weaken somewhat and allow this system to recurve along the eastern seaboard. It's much too far out to even speculate that. I saw one model that brings it up near Florida. Some of the other models are bringing it straight across the islands, and then there's a couple of them that brings it down into the Caribbean. Regardless of the case, this area of the world is about to be under the MJO influence, which induces upward motion and is very favorable for tropical development. So in the next few weeks, we definitely need to keep an eye on the tropical Atlantic. I've seen several waves coming off of Africa, and with this definitely warming up water temperatures and the MJO being favorable for development, we're definitely going to have to watch this area of the world to see if we get some development and some tropical trouble down the road. So once again, I'm going to keep updating you. Don should pose no threat to southeast Texas other than some higher rain chances. I believe the focus is going to be on south and central Texas at this time. So we don't have to worry about him. I believe this thing is going to be more beneficial than anything, bringing a wide swath of probably 3 to 4 inch rainfall to this drought-stricken area of Texas. So I believe it's going to be more of a help than a hurt. And definitely we'll have to see what ends up happening with this little system here that I've been talking about. It's going to be coming into the Caribbean in the next 4 to 5 days. And so we'll have to see what happens. These are the model tracks again. Like I said, the focus is on South Texas. So everyone up here that lives in Southeast Texas, I believe you can breathe easy. I think we're all in the clear. So once again, we'll keep updating you. I'll do another update tomorrow, as this will be approaching landfall by tomorrow night. So this is Jeremy at Extreme Weather Tracker, and hope you guys have a great evening.